if you really dive deep into history of the greatest men who have accomplished things, there's a woman that you didn't know that's this powerhouse that was just as much a part of the game. Hi, I'm Dave Tina.
And I'm Angie Tina.
Welcome to the 10-Year Marriage Podcast.
On this podcast, we answer the question, what if your marriage came with a 10-year contract?
How would you show up if there was a deadline in your relationship? What would your life look like in the future? And how would you recommit every day?
Come with us on this journey as we navigate as partners, entrepreneurs, and parents in this big life we've created.
This is your game, love. Set the table.
Well, I think this is an interesting topic because I think we see it. We've talked
Tell me
about
the topic.
this. Same team energy. I had read this post that there was this Harvard study, and it was talking about how people in relationships past 30 years, what qualities that they have versus people that don't have these qualities. And one of the biggest topics was how people are on the same team or not the same team.
You know, Harvard does these studies that are incredible. They did this 100-year study based on happiness, which...
Yes.
And in this...
That's still an ongoing study, by the way.
It's great. They follow generations of people. Even JFK was in this study, believe it or not. And in the study, they said, like, what is the number one driving force of happiness? And people were like, well, purpose, or it's your kids, or it's faith. And it was relationships, like the quality relationships, the quality of your life, which plays perfectly into this, right? Like,
totally.
This could be the most important relationship you'll have in your life, right? And so that's why I love this podcast. I love our relationship because it's the way even I've done business my entire life, you know, relationship-based business. When people say, oh, you know, it's business, it's not personal. And I'll be like, that's bullshit. It's all personal, right?
Yeah.
And so I like that this Harvard study is more like this, how strong your relationship is, not probably just with two people in a marriage or in a sexual relationship, but also relationship in general.
Totally. And part of that study actually shows the lifespan of people that are in healthy relationships versus single people. Because we talk about this all the time. Like, loneliness is like this new problem. Like, it's not a new problem, but it's a major problem.
It's an epidemic.
Yeah.
And everything that was supposed to make us get closer has pushed us further apart. It's like the fact that people used to have generations live in the same home. Like, but there's a double-edged sword to this, right? Like, that also would hold people back because they felt responsible for their family. So it's just, if you overcorrect any of them,
oh yeah,
you got a problem, which I think plays back into this. How can you be in a great marriage in a world that is pushing you into feeling individualized?
Yep, more and more. We're away from the tribe culture, the village culture, all of that. I want to hit on this point before we dive into this, because when I was on a retreat in Nashville, and there were 7 of us, and we go to the in-person retreat part, there's this woman there named Lauren Henley, and super dynamic woman. And she's talking about, like, I'm getting a little bit self-conscious because all these women are really powerful. They all have their own businesses. They're all like, I am woman, hear me roar type of women. And they're just very, very much in their feminine, but very individual, like working on their own businesses and things like that. And they're all in like happy relationships and stuff. But every time I bring up anything about my business or about my future, I'm talking about you, right? And I'm talking about us, and I'm talking about the we. And I, at one point, told the group, I was like, I feel a little bit like you guys are looking at me like maybe you shouldn't even be here, because this is about you and your husband, not just about your growth and your, success. And Lauren stopped and was like, you don't understand how important that is in this culture, how much we've gone away from the villages, the tribes, like those things that kept communities amazing and sustainable, and how to get back to that cohesiveness as far as like people and community, you have to start with partnership. You have to start with the two people that can do the, face the world together. And then it can grow more into a community and more into a tribe. And I always go back to that.
Well, let me give you the other side of this. I'm not even going to call out the group, but I've been in the highest level executive groups where you have to show your net worth to get in. Mostly men. I'd say 98, 99% men. And when we're talking about our businesses, because it's It's a confidential spot. There's really great parts about the brotherhood. It's not my warrior group, but there's also parts about you talk about your marriage and I'd always be the only one in the group saying my wife and I, or we're going to build it. Of course, she's my number one muse, my confidant. Like we do this together. We've built so much together. Between prenups and this type of attitude, this is what I had a guy in the group say to me: you either run your bitch or your bitch runs you. And I'm like, how could you have that mindset?
Yeah.
I mean,
why would you want to share your life with somebody like that?
You know,
on both sides.
If you really dive deep in the history of the greatest men who have accomplished things, there's a woman that you didn't know that's this powerhouse that was just as much a part of the game.
Yep.
Very rarely is it one man who's this dynamic visionary who has no support.
Right.
Like even Bezos had his wife and Gates had his wife. Like,
well, it's because it's the duality of everything that exists in nature and in the world. And you know how hard
it is to hold that shit on your own? Have the courage to bring a vision that will absolutely, you're going to get persecuted for. To be a visionary is one of the most dangerous things you could be. And so think about this. We're in alpha male, alpha female groups, and we're both having that weird feeling. And then you get this feeling like, shit, it's us against the world, which I know is one of these things on there.
That's basically the concept, right? I mean, you could go into it with everything. You could go into it with politics. You could go into it with religion, parenting, how you deal with conflict. But ultimately, it's an us versus a me, right? Or it's a we versus a me. Because I think that if you look back in our relationship personally, when we were the most, even on the journeys, like the personal journeys, right? Like there was one year where you got super healthy, you were super dialed in. Like I was still a part of that, right? Like I felt, whether I was or wasn't, I felt like I was a part of that. I was like, how can I help us? How can I create better meals? How can I, make sure I'm exercising and showing up and doing the things? Like there was always these parts where it was like both of us. And the parts where we've been most disconnected in our relationship is when you're trending one way and I'm trending another way. And then it becomes like, oh shit, now we have kids in common. And, in our relationship, we have always had business. But like, if we go too much into that drift, that's when I think things start to fall apart. And so. Yeah,
but you also, so I'm going to just say right now, I'm feeling defensive on the comment right now.
Why?
Because I feel like right now I'm drifting.
Oh, interesting. I wasn't,
I feel like I'm drifting right now?
No.
Well, I'm in such a position right now of like transition, transcendence, transformation, talking about this relationship thing. I've been the relationship guy. I've over-delivered for people so much. And I'm trying to battle this resentment in me of like the moment I say, okay, I'm going to take care of me, people in business treat me this different, people in, my friends treat me different. Like there's so few. So I've been going through this like transition of like, I know where I'm going, even though sometimes I feel lost. But because I'm getting so much different feedback from these relationship things, I'm like, isolate walls.
Yeah, but.
Which is not me.
Totally.
And then I'm like, as I'm like trying to figure this out, giving myself some grace, I'm beating myself up because I'm not like, the scoreboard for me hasn't changed. I'm still playing the game in my head of a past rules and past game.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm grading myself off of that scoreboard. And because I'm grading myself off that scoreboard, I'm feeling less than. And then I got defensive in a relationship because I'm feeling less than. Like, what am I doing? It's like if I'm not producing cash, fucking money all the time, right?
But let me ask you this. Let me throw you this one.
Throw me this one.
I'm going to throw you this one. If you look back at the last 10 years of our relationship, not just me and you, but of our family dynamic, our family relationship, and you go back to 1 year on where we were the most connected, on where we were the most aligned, and we had the best year ever, you focused on who?
Me.
You.
And you know what? In a weird way, even though there's been some ups and downs, I feel very connected to the family right now as well.
Right.
Even though I'm not taking care of myself in a health way that I should, I feel like I'm taking care of myself in a purpose and mental health way.
Yeah.
Just I feel like I'm being punished because of it. And I don't want to equate suffering with taking care of myself.
And I think that's just a pattern that you've gotten yourself into.
It's fair.
Right.
But that could easily come out into the relationship.
Oh,
and so
1000%.
one of the things that I believe that has been so sustaining for me is the fact that I have things money can't buy. This marriage, our amazing relationship with the kids, honest, truthful relationship. I have my integrity. I have, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about our marriage. I'm like, shit. And this is where you also got to be careful. You can't put too much of the balance. Like if your marriage is strong, but your body's not, or you're trying to figure out purpose or whatever, and you put too much weight on the strong part of those four things of body and your mind and your relationships and your financial, if like you just put it too much on relationships,
Mm-hmm.
then
It's
it's
gonna get
like a
off balance.
stool.
Yeah.
It's too much weight on it.
Right.
And it could be bad.
Right.
But that us against the world is a sustaining thing for me.
Yeah. 100%. And it's not even just that, but it's like we've talked about it, and I don't even know how to like really. In my brain, the visual is the leveling up, right? It's this stacking thing of sometimes you're up here and I got to catch up to you, right? Sometimes I'm above and you got to catch up.
We talk about this all the time.
Right. I don't even know how you would verbalize that as far as like what that means, but that comes back to the us that we're in this together, because there's not a situation like I'm showing up really well right now with meditating and working out and having my peace with the horses and getting one-on-one time with the girls and doing all of that kind of thing. But that doesn't mean I feel like I still feel like it's us in a way, right?
Yep.
Like I feel like you're going through this transition and I'm like, what can I do to help? What can I do to like activate? Because you and I have finally slowed down a lot in our life on a lot of the things that we were constantly doing these patterns in. And I'm like, how can I be of support? Right. And and you do the same thing for me. Like when you're up every morning, you're kind of like,
yeah, but even now, like and this is to continue on this theme, right? I'm being the same team.
yeah.
In hindsight, I'm going to look at what I'm doing right now as one of the probably top 5 hardest things I've ever done and things that I'm most proud of.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like if I give myself grace, which is so funny because I have this cursing calendar that's in the pantry.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally says on August, give yourself some fucking grace. And I'm like in there the other day and I'm just looking at it and I'm like, here's the sign.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so on some days I'm like, shit, I am falling behind because there's just like speed and FOMO of life.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the beauty of having us on the same team. And I think, it's one thing to know exactly what you need to do. I think most of us know what to do.
Everybody knows what to do.
And then here's where I think I'm different. And you are too. And this is where our strength is. Because we both get to a certain point the same way. For instance, I think we both know what to do. And we have the courage to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Which that alone separates most people. Because everyone really knows what to do if they have an honest conversation.
Yeah.
The courage to do it is that in itself. So it's like vision and then the courage to go.
Mm-hmm.
You have more faith in the vision.
Mm-hmm.
I have the ability to force it.
Mm-hmm. Or to make it better.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when we really do it well, is when I have more faith.
Mm-hmm.
And you have more implementation, and then we're indestructible. Yep. But that's the difference. If you don't have a strong core team, good luck. It's like, how many people can make it through building a house?
Mm-hmm. Or a remodel.
A remodel.
Yeah.
How many people can make it through a tough thing with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
How many relationships can make it through a career change? How many relationships can make it through moving to another place? Like, you really want to test your relationship? Do some hard shit.
I'd be curious if COVID had to do anything with keeping relationships together and stronger, or like tearing families apart.
I think it's both. I don't know the statistics, but I just heard somewhere that when money's tight,
Mm-hmm.
people are more willing to stay in relationships,
Well, that makes sense.
right?
Yeah. But one of the whole points to this whole concept is,
But when you have more options, obviously.
yeah. But it's like, I think that that's where really strong relationships come from, right? It's because they're facing these challenges, but they're doing it together. And that's where like this growth and this like transformation happens, because you and I are really good mirrors for each other, right? Like when I'm going through something hard, you can show up for me and you can say like one sentence and it snaps me out of it. Or we go for a walk and talk and you're like, Ange, look at it this way, or change the perspective on this, or whatever it may be. And I'm like, oh my God, that's why like this, you're putting together this coaching session, right? This coaching program and community. And I'm excited to like be a part of it. I'm excited to like listen to it every week, because I'm like, first off, I know that's when you show up in your best self, and that's super sexy and attractive to me. Second, I love hearing those things and I love being a part of it. And I'm like, God, I can take all these nuggets and apply them to my life. And I feel like I do the same for you. Like you were just talking about how, this was going through, just the stress of like having a business and renovating an entire huge building and all these things. And like at one point you were feeling down in the dumps, and I was like, look at these pictures. You did this.
Yeah, we had
And it
pictures of the
changed.
building.
Yeah. And it changed everything for you. You were like, holy shit, I didn't even think about that. Like, I didn't even I wasn't even looking at this going, wow, I did something really fucking hard and it's beautiful and it's amazing. And so I think that if you can be that in your relationship, be that mirror without judgment, because let me just tell you, there are some times where there's judgment and resentment, defensiveness. But when we put that aside and we're just genuine mirrors for each other, like that's when we're in our best selves.
Well, it's like, how strong is the team,
Mm-hmm.
right? And, any team in sports, you pick each other up.
Yep.
That's the beauty of like a lot of team sports.
Yep.
A great player can carry somewhat, but in football, for instance, I don't care how great the quarterback is. If you don't have a good line and people to catch the ball, like you're screwed.
And a good running back.
Yeah. And
right.
So, it's not waiting till things get shitty to be on the same team.
Right.
Right. So like I went and got blood work today.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting. Like I kind of know just from my weight and whatever, what the blood work is going to say. And my thought process going there was, well, if I had woken up in my body and I was like, all right, this is the hand I dealt. I'd be like, all right, here are the positives, here are the negatives. What do I got to do to optimize what's good, fix what's bad, and off we go. Very just like almost
matter of like taking your body out of it completely.
Detaching from emotions and just going, okay, what do I have to do?
Yep.
Very clinical.
Yep.
And on the way back, I was talking to my dad and I was like, he's like, Dave, like because of, where you're at, you're probably not going to have great numbers. I'm like, I know exactly what my numbers are going to be. I'm like, and this is the mentality I hate. I was like, I almost want them to be a little worse than I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because that'll spark the fire. And I really don't want to produce or create or like have to have something that is like negative.
Yeah, like producing out of lack instead of abundance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To get me going.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
I think that's the same thing with a marriage. Like, I don't want to wait till things get bad.
Right.
To show up.
And I think it's just patterns. Like it comes back to patterns. It's the same thing with you. Like, I think I was just talking to you, like, why does it have to be a struggle? Why does it have to be hard? Yes. Why does it have to be like, because that's your way to get leverage on yourself. Right.
And it's not a fun way because it's like, you gotta go into the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand, like, absolutely. Some ways that's how you get out.
Mm-hmm.
But to continue producing a great result based off of that, been talking about this a lot lately, even before one of my coaches brought it up. It's like, I don't want either the leverage. It's not even either. It's the leverage to get there to be tainted.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, like, you get to a point, and this is a quality problem to have. I don't want to follow my purpose just for money.
Right.
I don't want to be nice to you and take you on dates just so we have sex.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to create this marriage based on wanting something bigger,
Mm-hmm.
right? Create from being, create from presence, create from intention, create from purpose, create from freedom, create from truth. Like, this is that same team game
Yeah.
that
If you
I'm
can
looking
create
for.
it together
Yeah.
instead of separately, right? Like that's one of the things why I think we've had a successful marriage is because whether it's business, like how we see our life, how we raise our kids, whatever it is, like we have the same goals and the same drive. And so we can see that, like we see it very clearly.
Do you think we're just lucky that our purpose and vision has evolved the same? Because it was the same when we met and it is the same now, but we've gone through the same evolution. Do you
Yes
understand?
and
Did you
no.
understand
I
the
do
question I'm asking
understand what
for?
you're saying, but I think that the best example for that would be the horse life, right? Like you didn't have it on your bingo card that we were going to own horses and want a ranch, right? Like that was never like in your past. And to be honest, it wasn't in my past vision either because I didn't even know it was possible, right? But now that it is, like we've now, you know, I even now when we're curating what our life looks like, I'm more like horse focused and you're more like impact focused. And so those creative times are like, okay, how do we align this vision and make it so that both of us get what we want?
So one of the things you were talking about, that same team energy, right,
Mm-hmm.
was you got to have, I don't even want to call it politics because I believe your values
Oh yeah, morals and values.
are going to dictate your politics. There are instances where you have the same morals and values, but you think we could look at one person and be like, wait a minute, we're the same morals and values and you like that person and I don't, right?
Yeah, it'd be very hard if we were on different algorithms.
100%.
Yeah.
But would you agree when we met, I don't think necessarily we were looking just to make money,
Mm-hmm.
but we definitely wanted to make money.
Yeah.
Right? We were definitely both interested in Tony Robbins. We definitely both wanted kids together. We wanted to climb this ladder,
Yeah, life ladder.
social, the whole thing. It
Mhm.
was, I don't think it was for the reasons of like wanting to be seen, but we both come from lower middle class, comes to money, right?
Mhm.
We're not hungry in certain times. And we had this like, maybe to prove to other people, prove to ourselves,
Mhm.
right? And yet here we are, we've done it. A lot of people in this world would have
Yeah.
been engulfed by the Lamborghinis, the Louis Vuittons, the Rolex and the shit. We've tried it all on and we're like, we could take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Which is wild. We've gone on the same path
Mhm.
together. So we've evolved together. And that's what I'm saying. Like, even when you were like, I'm into the horses and you said you're into the horses and I'm into impact, I'm even changing impact.
Yeah.
I'm more like, I'm looking into peace, living with intention and attracting and inviting people into it.
Yep.
No force, no nothing.
Right.
So it's hard enough to get on the same page in the beginning.
Yep.
You're going to evolve 15 years of marriage and they evolve into a similar spot. And then so grateful for this because there are so many, like my biggest thing is like, some days I'll be like, I should be the most grateful motherfucker in the entire world. I have a gorgeous wife. I'm healthy. My kids are healthy. They're incredible kids. I have money. I have skills. I have integrity. I I mean, I have things that like my 18-year-old self would cut his arm off for.
Mhm.
And then I go, shit. I risked and walked away from a 7-figure net income a year because of what I saw for the future of the industry and what my purpose was, and going, shit, I got to do things differently, both for myself, the industry, the agents, the whole thing. And like, for me to sit there and be like, to have that certainty and courage 24 hours a day, which is fucking impossible.
Mm-hmm.
You know how hard that is for just one single person to do that? Imagine if you weren't like, not only like rooting from the sidelines, but being like, go for it. I don't care how it works out. It's the right move. And I am right here next to you.
Yeah.
Like that is some heavy shit to do on your own. And then to have someone supporting you is by far the thing I'm the most fucking grateful for.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you even talk like that, I'm like, and you talked about how even our things were aligned in the beginning. Like how many people, the thing that comes up for me the most that I would be like, I don't even understand it, is when people get into a relationship and one person wants children and the other person doesn't want children, and they end up staying in a relationship for God knows how long. And the person that wanted children misses this opportunity to have children. Like for us, that's been such a huge part of our life, and we had children fairly young. But like that's like to me, like I don't even understand. Like how do you get into a relationship where that is like such a large, huge decision, and you just deal with it? You know what I mean?
So if we're a team,
Mm-hmm.
because I agree, this is what made me think of. If to go with the metaphor of a football team,
Mm-hmm.
some teams, they just want to make the playoffs. But some teams are like, we want to win the Super Bowl
Mm-hmm.
every year. That's their goal.
Mm-hmm.
And they're willing to put out that big, hairy, audacious goal every single time. And every decision they make, every conversation they have, every personnel, you name it, is built around that shared goal and mission,
Mm-hmm.
right? That impossible dream, that
Yep.
impossible game. You and I have the courage in our relationship to speak up and say, I want this big, hairy, crazy thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about the things we've talked about or have done. I want to build a business. I want to buy a building. I want to run for this position. I want horses. I want to build a luxury team. Right? I want to buy a RV. I want to see what it's like to own a supercar. I want to go get a full makeover. I want to have a third kid after 7 years of not having a kid, and we thought we were done. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I want to have horses. I want to have a second horse. I want to buy a ranch. I want to buy it in another state that's 4 hours away on a flight. Like, we keep, even sexually, me pushing the limit on what I want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just speaking your piece,
Mm-hmm.
right? I want to have my health great and spend the money on a health coach, right? Like that level of truth and honesty to ourselves and to each other. Again, hard enough to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful fucking thing. Like,
Yeah. Well, and
is there
it's the
anything that you
support on
think
the other side.
is there anything that you haven't verbalized? Because I said something the other day, like, if I was dead, how would you live your life?
And I knew exactly. No, it's the same. It's the goals that we have, right? Like I'm already like, no, I would live it the same way, same trajectory that we're already on.
And I think that is an interesting thing because if we weren't, because divorce is a different thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you still have to like work around the other person because of kids and finances and whatnot.
Yep.
And that's why I brought it up, because I want things for me as much as I want to see the things you want play out.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so I care about your dreams as much as my own.
Mm-hmm.
So to say, like, if I wasn't around, what would you do? Because I played that game with myself.
Yeah. What would you do?
I mean, I'd have to train your mother to be a good caretaker. I would sit her ass down and be like, I'm gonna give you this much money and you're gonna do exactly what I say.
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd need
To help with the kids.
Yes. Just from a female perspective.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. Maybe I'd get in a relationship down the line, but the next 5 to 10 years of my life would be taking care of these girls and living my dream of, having impact, like you said, and like not even having impact, sharing my voice and seeing who it attracts,
Mm-hmm.
sharing my truth. So really, that's it. And that's really what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I'd have a little side bitty because I'd have to get some, and I'm sure that would turn into something. But I don't like maybe like a life partner, but I don't know if I would ever get married.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. That's it. And yes, I would definitely be expanding my life outside of Vegas, even though I would have a great structure. But I think there's more for our kids and ourselves to experience just in one place.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think you can outgrow a portion of something and still have it feed you.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's still a lot on the table for me with Las Vegas, with business and friendships and family. But I need more challenges outside of it.
Yeah.
About you?
I definitely would not get remarried. And not because of our relationship, but because like I would focus solely on the kids. I don't think I would need help with them, right? But like I would just spend my time with the girls. I would find a property. I would definitely move out of state, and I would just be like in nature as much as I can, with the girls as much as I can, the horses, and just that's what my next 5 to 10 years would look like.
And we're going to do it.
Exactly.
We're going to have our West Coast.
The only thing out of your whole version is like the side piece situation.
Dude, I know for sure you'd be dating somebody.
Well, no, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that the fact that both of us are here, we're still going to do all the things that we've just both spoke about with us being here together.
Yeah, but that's a good test.
Yeah. Because if I said I wanted to move to Hawaii and start surfing, you know what I mean? You'd be like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Why are we living this life this way then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think you're right. It's a great test. It's a great test for both partners to be like, how would I live my life if the other person wasn't in it? And then come back to it. And how can you co-create a life that shares both those visions and make sure you're both living up to your highest potential?
So there's a great question, I think, that you put on there. How do you fix this if you don't have it?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
And even before that, I think the answer is in one of those. It's a we versus me dynamic. If you're thinking like just me,
yep,
luck.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. If all your travel vacations are either with yourself or with your girlfriends or guy friends and not with your spouse or significant other.
Or if it's just your desire.
Yeah.
You're just going to places that you want to go to and not the other person, and they're just coming along.
And not that I don't think, I think that there's a healthy balance. Like, there's definitely places I want to go. Like, I want to go back to Thailand one day in my life, right?
I do
Probably
too.
Not with you,
no,
because
I do too.
it's not a good thing on your ass.
I do too. Like now, it's just, I could do it. I just have to know how to navigate it.
Mm-hmm.
It's as easy as that.
Right. But even if there was, let's just say there was something where one of my biggest things is I want to swim with whales, right? And your thing was like, I'm not swimming with whales. I have no interest in this. Like, you could still be a part of that vision. You could still be a part of that dream. You could still go on the trip with me and we could do other things and explore other places, and you could be on the boat while I'm swimming with the whales. You know what I mean? And not to say that there aren't going to be things that you do by yourself and that I do by myself.
True.
And that's a healthy balance.
100%.
But if you don't have that shared team energy in your relationship, I think that one, you have to start really asking yourself some tough questions on what do you want your life to look like individually? And then how does that play out in a family dynamic or in a relationship dynamic? And does it align with the other person?
Well, it also depends on what you're doing. It's an environmental thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you stretching each other in good ways or stretching each other in bad ways?
Yep.
Right. There's a great post, and I forgot exactly how it goes, but it was like, your friends are just people you share addictions with.
Mm.
Right. And so if you're drinking.
So was your spouse, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The horses are a great example,
mm-hmm.
because I was in a unique position to make this happen
Yep.
because of my comfort level and my past. And yet the big surprise was me reconnecting to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. To the point where it has healed a lot of parts of me.
Mm-hmm.
I never would have had that ability, that opportunity to do that without you having this desire to be in a horse, which I had no desire to really go back to.
Right.
Right. And so if you're like, I want to go here and I want to do this, I could absolutely see how this plays out. Me having to be in a really good mental state You have to be communicative because normally you're like, I'm not going to share anything with them because that's not who you are. But if I walk through the whole thing, I know what to expect, and I'm on the boat, I'm the type of person to go, this is like my MO. I didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
Now I'm on the boat and this is amazing.
And now I'm jumping in.
And now I'm jumping in.
Yeah.
And you're going, I wanted to be here and now I'm pissing my pants.
Right.
And then now we're swimming with whales. And I'm like, all of a sudden, the least likeliest person to swim with a whale, me, is holding onto a fin. And you're like, holy shit.
You can't touch them.
Oh, shit. But you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. No, I get what you're saying. You fully embrace it.
A positive way that your desire can push mine. Same thing that
and you have a really good way of like, which there aren't many things that you want to do that I'm like, not like, yes, let's go. I mean, there's really not many. But if there was, you have a really beautiful way of like crafting it to make it look appealing to me.
I don't want to say selling it. I think I set it up well. I mean, anything art related, like whether it's movies, music, books.
Oh, music, I'm in.
I understand, but like
museums,
even if it's food.
Yeah.
I'm the more adventurous one, willing to try different things. And then you are like, oh, and next thing you know, like then what'll happen is like if I try something great at a restaurant and you go to the tried and true, and I'm like, this is amazing. Like for instance, that starfish. And I like typical me, I'm talking to the waitress. For instance, I didn't know that we were just there in Laguna. It was one of the people who ran P.F. Chang's when P.F. Chang's was amazing. And they're like, I'm like, what's the best thing on the menu? We always get this spicy chicken that we love. And we go back and you're like, I know what you're going to order before you even order. Cause this is Angie. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to order this thing. Right. And she's like, oh, have you tried, the green curry sea bass?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, let's try it. And you're like, nah, I'm good. And then I'm opening up this thing. It's wrapped in like some kind
of leaves or something.
Leaves, yeah. And it's amazing. And now you're going to order. You loved it. Ended up eating the whole thing the first time. And you're going to order that thing the next 30 times.
Yeah.
I'll try something different that you'll fall in love with. Like that's our game. Same team.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
So how do we fix this? It comes back to the main question that I ask every single person in one form or another in every single relationship I have in every single scenario. What do you want? What's the outcome you're looking for? What's your desire here? What are you trying to get to? Let's get to let's peel back the layers. What do you want? People are so plugged into the matrix and so following, it's called mimetic desire, which is they think they have an idea of what they want, but they're just following what is happening around us.
Yeah.
So we go deep. What do you want? And the thing is, even me, like we keep talking about this house in Franklin, and like sometimes it gets overwhelming because I'm like, shit, we're spending a lot of money. And you know how I stopped freaking myself out on this? I'm like, this isn't a forever thing. It doesn't have to be a forever thing. This could be, we try to build this ranch retreat thing here and we hate it and we go try somewhere else. Like, then it takes all the pressure off.
Yep.
So what you want is allowed to change, but you need where do I want to go? What do I want in order to just start the process? Because then this is a process of either like elimination or picking. And if you just start putting up all the roadblocks in ways it's not going to work or things that has to be perfect,
you're never going to get anywhere.
You're never going to get there.
Yep.
And so to fix it, you're going to have real conversations in your relationship and start trying on new shit that is going to test every relationship around you, including your own, with yourself, with your wife, with your husband, with your kids.
And your friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you are on a different path and things start falling away. And that's why it is really truly like if you're spending your relationship that's most important, like how can you be the most aligned? How can you check in with each other and make sure that's happening and you're not drifting? Like that stuff is really important.
What it would take to be a team is a shared goal. And you need to both be leaders in the relationship. There's some craziness going on at the local association of realtors that I used to be a part of. And you know, and a marriage is almost like a board of directors.
Mm-hmm.
And if in that boardroom you don't have a shared vision, a strategic plan is a 5-year goal, right? And you don't have a direction that unites the whole entire room, you're going to start bickering over things that don't matter. It becomes a power struggle over the most mundane, ridiculous things in the world because you have nothing else to put that energy towards.
And you don't have a common enemy.
Or a common enemy or a common destination.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? But yes, common enemy usually, you know what? The enemy could be, you're right. The enemy could be, we're going to fall asleep at the wheel while this whole entire industry passes us by.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so our common enemy is we both refuse to live the same life year after year after year. Here's the kicker. No matter how great that year is.
We're always going to want it better.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because Garrett, one of my coaches, he says it so beautifully. He goes, what's new becomes normal. What's normal becomes numb.
Yep.
Right? What was your paradise becomes your prison.
Mm-hmm.
Because you think about it. You don't heal by laying in bed and resting for months. Yep. Think about it. I thought about this the other day. Like, if you want to slow everything down and do nothing, mm-hmm. right? What happens to your body if you just lay in bed for a month? It atrophies. It decays.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't get better. For you to heal, you actually have to get outside, get sun, and move. A body in motion stays in motion. A life in motion stays in motion, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's so counterintuitive that the game of growth and the game of marriage and the game of life is to keep moving no matter how good it is. And the better it gets, the harder it is to keep doing it over because you're like, holy shit, I never thought I would get to this point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to go put my chips back on the table, and I got to put more chips on the table, and I got to risk more chips.
It's the whole 10-year marriage concept.
Wild.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be able to do that unless you are locked in foundationally with the other person you are, or you have a house of cards. And what you find out is the foundation that you're trying to protect is actually a house of cards. Because the minute you change one thing, this foundation you think, yeah, boom, the whole thing comes down, which mm-hmm. we're finding out right now.
Yep.
We would not be able to make these moves if we weren't foundationally strong.
Yeah.
And so you have to build the foundation of like, our strategic plan, what we want, what we see you at 40, me at 50 and beyond is locked in. There's some subtle differences.
Yeah, totally. And there's constant check-ins, right? Because it can change for both of us, and we have to make sure that it's constantly going in the same direction. Because every once in a while I might throw a curveball in there.
As do I. And you resist the pull of the past.
Mm-hmm.
Because the pull of the past is you think it's the comfortable and you go back. The irony is you can never go back because once you've actually seen, you can't unsee.
Yep.
Right?
Totally. And for the relationships that haven't had this in their past, right? Like, it would be interesting to have them think about and imagine what their relationship could become with them being on the same team.
Is there any part of our past marriage that you would want to go back to?
No.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. I'm more excited about our future marriage than I am our past.
And there it is. That's what I always say. The future has to be bigger than your past.
Yep.
So the fact that you're more excited about the future of our marriage than the past means that we re-up. It means that our strategic plan, our 5-year plan, our 10-year plan is aligned. We don't know how it's going to play out, but we're willing to walk down that aisle
together
again.
On the same team.